Hi there! Today we are making a blueberry cheesecake. It's only 226 calories per 100 grams. Let's start with the cookie crust. Use 320 grams of shortbread cookies that crumble easily. You can use a little more or a little less if you prefer. Blend the cookies until they turn into fine crumbs. Then add 150 grams of butter. Melt the butter until liquid before adding it to the crumbs. The microwave works perfectly for this. Pour the melted butter into the crumbs and mix everything well. Transfer the mixture to a cake pan, spread it evenly over the bottom, and press it down firmly with your hands. For a smoother edge, carefully run your finger along the edge of the pan and smooth it out. Then place the crust into the fridge while preparing the next layer. Take 10 grams of gelatin, add 50 milliliters of water, mix well, and leave it to bloom for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, mix 300 grams of cream cheese, 150 milliliters of heavy cream, and 3 grams of liquid vanilla extract. You can add up to 5 milliliters of vanilla extract if you prefer. Then add 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, which is about 40 grams. Once the gelatin has bloomed, microwave it for about 20 seconds until it becomes liquid. But be careful not to let it boil. Pour the gelatin into the rest of the ingredients, mix everything together, and blend well. Take the crust out of the fridge and pour the mixture over it. Carefully spread it over the surface to create an even layer. You can gently shake the pan so the mixture spreads out evenly on its own. Then place the cheesecake in the fridge for at least 1 hour, but it all depends on the temperature in your fridge. You may need a little more time or a little less. Check the layer from time to time by gently tilting the pan and seeing if the mixture moves. If the layer feels firm and doesn't spread, it's set and ready for the next step. But while this layer is setting in the fridge, prepare the next one. For this layer, use about 450 grams of blueberries. Set aside the prettiest berries on a plate. Keep them separate so you know how many berries you will need to decorate the cheesecake later. Transfer the remaining blueberries to a saucepan, add 50 grams of sugar, and cook over medium heat. Cook until the berries burst and release a bright pink color. This usually takes about 3 to 4 minutes. Then blend the berries with a blender. Since I have only one packet of powdered gelatin, next step we'll use sheet gelatin. If you are using powdered gelatin, use 10 grams. For this recipe, 3 gelatin sheets will be used instead. Soak the sheets in the cold water and leave them to bloom up to 10 minutes. If you are using powdered gelatin, do the same as with the second layer. Add 50 milliliters of water and leave it to bloom for 10 minutes. Then gently heat it in the microwave before adding it to the blueberry mixture. For the final layer, the process is the same, but after heating the gelatin in the microwave, add it to the water instead of blueberry mixture, as we are doing now. Meanwhile, add the remaining cream cheese, about 300 grams, and about 50 milliliters of heavy cream to the cooked berries. Mix everything together and blend it till smooth. Then add the blue food coloring. You can also leave the mixture as it is and skip the food coloring completely. Originally, the plan was to make it blue, but eventually purple seemed better to me, so add the blue coloring gradually until you're happy with the color. Once you like the color, stop adding the coloring. Now take the gelatin out of the water and transfer it to a separate plate. Pour the mixture from the saucepan into another bowl, but leave a little bit of the mixture, about 4 or 5 tablespoons, in the bottom of the saucepan. Gently heat this mixture off the stove, but don't let it boil. Then add the bloomed gelatin and mix well until it completely dissolved. Once the gelatin has dissolved, pour the mixture into the rest of the blueberry mixture and blend everything again. Although this step isn't actually necessary, you could simply mix everything well with a fork or a spoon. Take the cheesecake out of the fridge and pour the third layer over the first two. Put it back in the fridge for at least 1 hour. It might need a little longer, but 1 hour should be enough. And for now, there is nothing else to do, just relax or go about your day and wait for the layer to set. After about 1 hour, take the cheesecake out of the fridge. It might look like the layer hasn't completely set yet, but it should still be slightly jiggly, like a real cheesecake. The main thing is that it shouldn't be too runny. Now add the blueberries on the top, arrange them however you like. Then take the remaining gelatin sheets and soak them in the cold water. There are 8 sheets left. You can also use the remaining 10 grams of powdered gelatin and follow the same process. While the sheet gelatin is blooming, take about 300 milliliters of water. The video shows 200 milliliters, but another 100 milliliters were added later because there wasn't enough liquid to completely cover the blueberries, so I recommended using 300 milliliters from the start. Add 2 tablespoons of sugar, which is about 30 grams. You can use 40 grams if you prefer. Then microwave the water and sugar until the sugar has completely dissolved. Meanwhile, the gelatin should be bloomed by now. It takes about 6 to 7 minutes. Add the bloomed gelatin to the warm sugar water and mix well. Then using a tablespoon, carefully pour the liquid over the cheesecake little by little as the final layer. Do this very carefully so the berries don't move out of the place. Place the cheesecake back in the fridge to set. Usually 1 to 2 hours should be enough, and make sure the pan is sitting level. That way all the layers will be even and won't lift to one side. Since it was already late, I decided to leave the cheesecake in the fridge overnight. And finally I took it out. It actually looks great. I started opening the pan but ran into a small problem. The cheesecake had stuck to the sides and started to tear. So I quickly closed the pan again and carefully ran a thin knife around all the edges to separate the cheesecake from the pan. After that, it came away from the sides easily and didn't tear. Remove the sides of the pan, and this is how the cheesecake turned out. Since this was my first time making it, I was pleasantly surprised by the result, and most importantly, it turned out really delicious. If you want, you can use different food coloring and experiment with the colors. The original recipe actually called for fruit jelly, but since I didn't have any, I used unflavored jelly and mixed it with the blueberry jam we made together. So without food coloring, the cheesecake turned out pink, and adding blue coloring made it purple. But you can use fruit jelly, for example. It comes in different colors, so you won't need to prepare or add jam separately. This makes it easier to experiment with the color of the cheesecake. You can also add any fruits or berries inside, such as strawberries or raspberries. And that's it. Good luck making it. See you next time.